Good afternoon. My name is Toby McClary. I am a current Tribal Council member for the Confederated Tribes of Grand Round. I am seeking re-election in the 2012 Tribal Council election. Recently, I posted on a few sites that I know that there is a large number of tribal members who are active on Facebook, and asked that they post questions on my Toby McClary Tribal Council Facebook page. The idea is that I would answer those questions via video in hopes to have more of a personal interaction with the tribal membership. So I do have a few questions listed on my Toby McClary Tribal Council Facebook page, and I'm going to take a stab at answering those. I plan on answering those in the order that they were received, beginning with the earliest. So the first question was from Brenda Gray. She asked me why I'm not pushing for this CEO to be removed from our casino. I'm reluctant to talk about personnel issues over the internet. I believe that there is a level of confidentiality that shouldn't be breached. I believe that there is a supervisory role over our CEO at the casino, and that is the SMGI Board of Directors. The Board of Directors serves in that capacity. I will take this opportunity to say that I have had concerns. If that's really what the root of your question is, I will admit that I have had concerns, several concerns over the last 3 years. You mentioned comps. You mentioned VIP services. You mentioned employee morale. All of these have been concerns that I've brought forward to the members of the board of directors, and actually to the CEO himself. I feel like that was the most appropriate way to approach the situation, was to approach the supervisors as well as the CEO with my concerns. I would hope that my concerns mean something to the board of directors, and that they are paying attention to the areas that I have brought forward. So moving on to your second question, Brenda Gray, you have a second question on here. You say that you don't like what I'm saying about tarot, and then you talk about I think that you refer to a conversation that you and I had. Anyway, I believe that you referred at some point to the conversation that you and I had prior to a council meeting several weeks back. And that's what you're referring to when you say that you don't like what I'm saying about tarot. I believe what you're talking about is the Workforce Protection Act. I did mention that I was supportive of implementing a Workforce Protection Act simultaneously with tarot, and that was actually suggested to us by John Navarro. He's one of the founding fathers of tarot, has worked with tarot, either for tarot or with tarot, for many years, since the 70s, I believe. And he came out and did an evaluation on our tribe and our community. His suggestion was to implement a Workforce Protection Act. The reason for that is that it would minimize the probability of becoming unionized. One thing that becoming unionized would do is it would, in my opinion, chip away at our sovereignty. I think once you allow a union in and kind of control employees and how we have to model our workforce, I think you do chip away our sovereign immunity. What the Workforce Protection Act would do would be to serve somewhat as a union. It would allow for us to create what that looked like ourselves, rather than having a union come in and do it, and it would minimize the probability that non-tribal employees would look to unionize because they felt it was unfair, the potential of unfair treatment. Anyway, the conversation that you and I had was a suggestion from John Navarro. Again, that wasn't something I made up, and it seemed to be supported by those folks that were in the room. So I hope that you don't think that that I created this, Brenda. This is something that is used. It's used by a lot of tribes, and again, this is something that was suggested to us by one of the founding fathers of the Tarot program, who understands, how unionization can potentially chip away at a tribe's sovereignty. So that's why I was supportive of it. Let's see. I got one here from Veronica Gaston. She asks me, what campaign promises was I able to keep in my first term? Let's see. And which ones wasn't I able to keep? In 2009, I made it clear in my campaign that I wasn't going to make campaign promises that I couldn't keep. I understand that I'm one person, and I can't be out there promising people things that I couldn't guarantee. The promises that I did make, however, were characteristic promises. I promised to be accountable. I promised to take responsibility. I promised to do my job with integrity. I promised to have a good work ethic, be present, have good attendance. So those were the promises. I knew that I had control of those things. I knew that I could promise those things, and I've delivered those things. I may not have always made decisions or voted the way that some folks would have liked me to, but in terms of having integrity, being accountable, being responsible, showing up to work, returning emails and voicemails, those were the kinds of promises I made, and those are promises that I kept. She has a second question on here. She says that Tribal Council is over all departments. What are we doing for tribal members who bring this to Council's attention when they feel they have been treated unfairly? Over the first few years that I've been on Council, that's happened a lot, actually. We've gotten several comments from tribal members who feel that they have been treated unfairly, and we've addressed some of those concerns. What's hard is that we get these questions in public forums like our Wednesday night Tribal Council meetings, when only one side of the story can be told. We are forced to uphold our confidentiality. We aren't allowed to speak on the issues, but the person bringing the concern forward is allowed to say whatever they want. So these have been hard challenges, I think, for us, because we know both sides of the story. I don't know, Veronica, if you're speaking to a specific issue or not. If you are, then I'd need to know about the specific issue in more detail. But I think that Council has a responsibility to listen to the membership and look at overall policies. I think that it would be bad practice for Tribal Council to react to specific concerns brought forward, but to take a look and check the validity of the concern and look at ways that we could change the policies to better fit the tribal membership and the efficiency of the operations. So I hope I've answered your question, Veronica. I know that you talked to me yesterday and had some concerns with not being able to get this video, so if that is the case, please let me know, and I will write out I will write out an answer for you. The next question I have is from Kayla Gottfried. I believe that's how you pronounce that, I hope. It says, Councilman Toby, there is a rumor of you getting a DUI during the last time you were running for council. I'm wondering if you will clear this up for us. Thank you. Thank you for the question, Kayla. I appreciate it. There is absolutely no truth to the rumor of me getting a DUI during my last bid for tribal council. I don't know where that rumor came from, but there is absolutely zero truth to that. So, but I will use this opportunity to clear up maybe some confusion. In 2003, I was convicted of a DUI. It's not something I'm proud of. However, it's not something I've ever hid. It did come up in my 2009 campaign. I did speak about that in 2009. I will take the I will try to turn this into something positive. I do believe that I learned a lot from my mistakes. I always learn from my mistakes. In 2003, I was going through a hard time. It was a dark period in my life, and I made a mistake, and I'm willing to be open about that. However, I did use it as an opportunity to learn. I learned how to cope when maybe your life isn't going so hot. I learned for alternative ways to release pent up things that may not be good. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the experience. I feel like I'm a better person today because of it. Again, it was almost a decade ago when that happened. Again, it's not something I'm proud of, but I used it as a learning opportunity, and I do believe that I'm a better person because of it today. I think we all make mistakes, and hopefully we use those mistakes to make ourselves better, and that's exactly what I did. As far as getting one in 2009 when I ran for council, it's not true. So I hope I've cleared that up for you. Let's see. It looks like that might be everything that's on here. So I hope I've answered your questions. I know that I didn't answer yours, Brenda, probably the way that you would have wanted me to, at least in terms of the first question. But again, I think that there are laws that prohibit speaking openly about personnel issues with employees. Anyway, I'm sure I will receive feedback from this video, and I look forward to seeing that. I hope you all have a good evening, and if people would like to see this happen again, I am more than willing to receive your feedback and try this out again. So have a good evening, and we will talk to you next time.